Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We will get started with our live listing critiques in just a few minutes. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We will get started with our live listing critiques in just 1 minute. Hey everyone, my name is Isabella and I work on Etsy's community education team. Thank you all so much for being here. As many of you probably know, today is our last day that we are doing these live listing critiques here in our new Etsy seller event space. And when I say last, I just mean last for now. This is our last currently scheduled listing critique for now, but we do plan on doing more of these in the future, especially if you've all found them helpful. Definitely let us know in the chat today if these have been helpful to you, any key takeaways that you've had if you've been watching our last couple of listing critiques, and then anything else that maybe we didn't cover that you'd love for us to talk about in the future. Not only do we plan on doing more live listing critiques like this, we're hoping to do more seller education events throughout the rest of the year. So definitely let us know if there's that one topic that has been a pain point for you or something that you've been looking to work on that you'd love more education and resources around. My team lives for that stuff. So please leave us some comments in the chat here. And for those who just joined, hello, my name is Isabella and I work on Etsy's community education team, and we are about to get started with our listing critiques. We'll give folks just a couple more, maybe like 30 seconds to join in. Until then, yes, I'd love to hear if there's anything in particular that you're working on in your shop lately or something you'd like to see more education and resources around as we continue to plan what these listing critiques and other seller education events look like throughout the rest of the year. Definitely feel free to let us know in the chat. And I've actually got the chat here pulled up on my phone, so I'll be following along while also sharing the listings that we're talking about on my screen. I've got a couple different things going. I've also got my notes that I took on the listings that we'll be talking about today. So yeah, just bear with me as I look at multiple things. And yes, thank you so much for being here and engaging with us. And I will see your comments as they come through and respond as best as I can. I see that we have folks here from Germany, New Jersey, Turkey, Bulgaria, Missouri. Such a global audience today. Thank you all so much for being here. So we'll go ahead and get started now. Just give me a minute here while I get my screen sharing set up. Thanks, everyone. All right, so can everyone see the listing page that we are currently looking at on my screen here? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if so. Great, so it looks like I'm getting some confirmation here. I'm also seeing some questions about where this took place originally. For those who are not familiar with our live listing critiques, we actually take submissions for these over in our community space, which is just community.etsy.com. So over there within the shop critique section, we did a call for submissions. We asked our sellers to drop a link to a listing that they're working on for a chance to have it critiqued here in one of these live listing critique sessions. So thank you all so much for submitting your listings. It was really fun to engage with you all there and see all of the submissions, all the wonderful items that are available on Etsy. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 really cool items. Definitely a variety, if you will. Sometimes we end up talking about, just because we pull them at random, like 3 different pieces of art or 3 articles of clothing. And today we have a really good mix. We're going to be talking about a sports bra, as you can see here. We're going to be talking about some nursery decor, and we're also going to be talking about knobs for drawers. So I'm excited to dig in, and I hope you all are too. Let's go ahead and get started with our first one here. Thanks again for confirming. I'm getting lots of thumbs up now, so we'll jump in. This listing is from Street Vogie. I think I'm saying that correct. And they've submitted this sports bra. I will go through the photos real quick so you can get a feel for the item. Got our sizing guide here. That's really nice. I'm going to scroll down the page too, so you can see a little bit more about the listing. Okay, so I did take some notes on this one, so I'll just start from the top here. For those who have watched these before, I like to start with the listing title, just because it's super valuable real estate when it comes to your visibility in Etsy searches. So when someone conducts a search on Etsy, our search algorithm scans all of our inventory for keywords within the listing titles, tags, categories, attributes, but mostly and very prominently that listing title and your listing tags. So I want to talk about the listing title, as this is like the start of it all, right? This is what even helps you be eligible to appear in search results before the algorithm even does any ranking of search results. So, listing titles in general should be, 2 to maybe 4 really relevant phrases, easy to read, digestible, yet descriptive. So when I say 2 to 4, the character limit for a listing title is 160 characters, but you do not need to use all of those characters, okay? So when you start to have a lot in here, the title starts to look a little bit long. It's kind of hard to read when it's this many words and phrases. I do like that they separated their phrases by commas. Like that does help with the legibility, but it's still on the longer side. So lean into those phrases that are the most relevant, and then anything else that feels relevant that you're not able to capture within your title, that can go in your listing tags. And when I say relevant, I want to pause there for a second. Try to consider the words and phrases that a buyer is most likely to type in to the search bar when shopping for a product like this. So, with this title in mind specifically, it is a bit on the longer side. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 phrases. That's a lot. So I would definitely encourage the seller to pare down. Look at your shop stats and see, which words and phrases are appearing there consistently. And then anything that you have listed here within the title that's not appearing consistently in those shop stats probably isn't working well for you, or it's not working as well as another phrase potentially could. So you could swap it out for something else, or just get rid of it altogether to clean up the title, keep it easy to read. Because not only is your title important in terms of matching keywords with how buyers have searched, it's also just important that it remains really legible, easy to read, quickly digestible for your potential buyers, especially when we think about conversions. So I have a theory here. I'm thinking funky outfits, pink gym outfits. I'm trying to highlight here as I'm talking through. To me, those don't seem like the most obvious words and phrases that you would associate with this listing, but I could be wrong. Definitely verify within your shop stats. But I would really lean into the leopard print. I would lean into the material if you can. So is it nylon, rayon, silk? Especially when it comes to things like fitness and women's clothing. I do think that material is important. People have their preferred materials, especially for fitness clothing. So that might be worth considering. I like the racerback bra. I like the long line sports bra. Those feel important. Padded sports bra, that feels like something somebody might have in mind when searching. Play around with the title, try to consolidate a bit. Know that you don't necessarily need to repeat the word bra or gym multiple times. Once it's in there once, it's got you covered, unless you feel like it's part of a phrase that is definitely most likely to be searched for, like padded sports bra and then pink sports bra. Maybe those are both okay to have to increase the relevance there. But yeah, I would highly encourage paring this one down a little bit and really leaning into your shop stats to figure out what your key players are there. The next thing I want to talk about on this listing is the photography. I think you are off to a really great start. So these photos are super professional, super clear. The fact that you use one of your photo slots for a size guide is also very clever and I think helpful to buyers. What I will say though is just with these photos alone, I don't necessarily feel like I'm getting the full picture here of the item. Also, they're almost so professional that they start to look a little bit like stock photo-ish. So I'm wondering if you can expand on the photos that you have available here with a few more like lifestyle shots is what I would call them. So when you think about athletic wear, Movement is so important. So, can we see somebody wearing this, but like in a yoga pose or going for a run? Those sorts of photos are really aspirational to buyers. They're a little more editorial too, just because they show the product in its intended use. You could even take it a step further and include a listing video, even if it's just pulling on the bra or somebody doing, again, like a yoga pose or some sort of athletics or movement to really just show off the quality and the fit of this article of clothing. Definitely think those could be helpful. And then my last note for this listing is I think that the listing description is in a pretty good place overall, but the very beginning of it is a little hard to read. I see pink sports bra, comma, leopard print padded sports bra, comma, and then you sort of go off into a sentence. Just know that other search engines, so Google, Yahoo, Bing, places offsite, they do crawl your listing descriptions for keywords when coming up with their own search results on their own sites. So it's really important that you utilize this area, especially those first 160 characters. Really well. You want to make sure you're well optimized there. So, with that in mind, I would encourage you to take these keywords that you start with in the beginning of this description and work them into more of like an actual sentence. So, original content, written out sentences with keywords mixed in, that's definitely the way to go versus just kind of what we call keyword dumping, just putting blocks of keywords in that aren't necessarily forming a sentence. So yeah, just wanted to call that out. But this listing is off to a great start. The item's really lovely. I feel like just a few changes to the title will help with visibility and potentially conversions. I also think improving the amount of photos available and showing it off in a bit of a different light could also be influential and helpful. And then yeah, the notes on the description should also help with discoverability. Okay, so we'll move on to our next one now. Before we do, I just want to do a quick plug for our channel though. If you are not already subscribed to Etsy Success, please do like this video and subscribe to our channel where we'll continue to do live listing critiques throughout the year as well as other seller education events. If you're subscribed, you'll get notified when those happen and then you won't miss out. So yeah. All right, so our next listing here is this macrame, I believe wall decor. And this is from Orenda Macrame. Thank you so much for submitting this. And this looks like a pretty new seller here on Etsy. So I'm excited to be able to talk through your listing today. I'm just going through the photos right now to give everyone a quick feel. It's great that you're utilizing all 10 photo slots. Really nice. And I'll just scroll down the page now. Okay, so again, I'm going to start from the top here. I'm going to look over the title, share some thoughts there, and then we'll move on to photography and other things. So my first thought here is similar to the sports bra we were just discussing. The title's a little bit on the longer side. Also, it's not immediately clear to me that this is a set of two. So I'm wondering if there's a way in your listing title without sacrificing too many words towards, describing that it's a set. You want to really make sure it's like every word in there is like a keyword. Is there a way to say set of two nursery mobiles or macrame wall hangings? I do see in the photo they're both here, but being as clear as possible, even in the title, I think could be really helpful. And then again, I would suggest kind of paring this down. Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 phrases. That's a bit on the longer side. Remember, buyers, they want to just quickly read a detail or two to really understand what it is you're offering. And then, they'll move on to looking through your photos to get the rest of the picture. Anything that doesn't make it into your title as you're paring down, remember, it can go in your listing tags. All right, so just be sure to look over your shop stats to really understand which words and phrases are currently driving traffic to your listing, which are not. And from there, you can make pretty solid decisions about how you want to rework your title if you decide to do that. Another resource for finding the right keywords for your listings, I want to plug our Shop Critiques forum over in our community space. Again, that's community.etsy.com. And there, within all of our forums boards, you'll find a section called Shop Critiques. That's actually where we took our submissions for these listing critiques. And you can just start a thread there, say to the community, hey, this is my new listing. What do you think? Or how would you describe this? Or if you were searching for a product like this, what would you type into the search bar? There are tons of really experienced, super thoughtful sellers there that give great advice. So highly recommend checking out the Shop Critique session, especially if you're new. Oh, I just got a note from Ravila Natural Wood. For your next listing critiques, could you please critique expensive products too? So we pull these at random. We get submissions for listings at all different price points. And then from there, we just select at random. But that's definitely good to know that that's something you're thinking about. And we'll definitely take that into consideration as we plan future education events. Thank you for that question. Okay, I'm going to jump back in now though. Okay, so we talked about the listing title. Let's talk about photography now. The seller's done a great job capturing the items at plenty of different angles. I think we have some up close shots showing off detail and texture. We've got some shots from further back to really help you understand the full look of the finished product. What I'm not seeing, however, is this product in its intended use. So it looks like the seller probably put them on the ground to photograph, which is a nice idea for a lot of products. It's like a great way to have like a pretty clear and solid background. For these, however, I think that we really need to get them hung on a wall so we can see the full effect, right? I also want to call out that in some of these photos, I think what the seller's trying to do is illustrate scale by including some flowers. For me, it just ends up being a little bit distracting. I do love the idea of curating your photos, with a plant or some flowers, whether it's illustrating scale or just giving it that more elegant, refined, sophisticated, editorial, all of those things, if you will, that look. But here I'm finding it distracting. So totally up to you, but that would be a piece of advice that I would offer would be to lose the photos with the flowers in them and try to articulate size and scale in a different way. Something that can be really helpful and, easy to capture scale without using props or other things is just photographing within the hands. So a photo of you, whether it's you holding it up or it's just a photo of you, you have it in your hand and you're just capturing the photo from there. That can help people visualize how large or small this product actually is. And I do see that you have a size selection photo here, which I think is great. You call out the centimeters at 25 by 35, or it goes up, style B is 35 by 40. That is great. But remember that buyers, they can read this, but maybe not immediately understand the size and scale just from reading this. I think it's important to capture this how you have it, but also within photos with the actual sizes. And I noticed over here, you do have a size variation set up, which is great. But if I select one of your variations, the photos don't move with me. And I'm not sure the seller is aware or not, but we do have variation photos available within the listing page. So when you set up a listing, you can actually set up your variation photos, which means I'm talking about that just as if everyone knows. I'm sorry. If you set up variation photos, what happens when you select a size here from your variation, the photos will actually move with it. So I would click style A, and then a photo like this would come up to help me be like, oh, okay, that's the size of that one. If I go and select style B, okay, it's going to change, and I'm going to see a photo that, corresponds with that. So that's where you can also really work in those scale shots, hands or another prop like a mug or a lamp, something that is kind of a recognizable object that would help the buyer better infer how much or how little space the item would take up. So yeah, scale photos definitely would be helpful. Connect them to your variations if possible. And then, yeah, show us what the product looks like hanging on the wall. I think that would actually be a great first listing photo for you if you're willing to try out something new here. Any solid wall, nothing too distracting. And then just, yeah, them hanging up side by side next to each other. I think that would look great. All right, so because this is a newer shop, something I like to do is go away from the actual listing and navigate over to the shop and just check that out and see if there's any advice we can give there. So doesn't take me very long to scroll through your shop. I will say it looks like there are quite a few areas that you could work on here to really flesh out your shop and make it feel a little more complete. First of all, only 5 items. I know this is easier said than done, but adding more items is going to increase your visibility. The more items you have out there, the more opportunity you have to be found in searches. So think of all of your items as ads and gateways into your shop. So the more you have out there, the better, right? So that could be something worth working on. I like your shop updates. That's nice to see. When I scroll down though here, I see you do not have any shop policies filled out. To me, if I put my buyer hat on, that's a bit of a red flag. So when I'm shopping, whether it's on Etsy or other sites, I like to know before purchasing something, what if I don't receive this item? What if it gets lost in the mail? What if I do receive it and it's not exactly what I wanted? What's the return policy? Do they accept exchanges? Stuff like that is really important for buyers to know ahead of their purchasing. So if you can flesh out your shop policies a bit, I do see you have the payment methods there, which is good. But yeah, letting folks know where you stand on those other things, I think will allow buyers to feel a little bit more confident when making a purchase from your shop. Plus, not only will it help, with credibility and buyer perception, and in turn, hopefully your conversion rate, just having shop policies in place will actually give you a boost in search. So the Etsy search algorithm actually looks at whether or not a shop has shop policies filled out when surfacing and coming up with its search results. We want to promote transparency, and we want to make sure that buyers feel good about their purchases and feel super inclined to make a purchase when they see something they like. So there is a little bit of a boost in search for those who do fill this out. So lots of reasons to fill it out. It takes about 5 minutes. Would love to see that added in. Okay, so a couple other areas that the seller could fill out. You could have a banner up top here to really brand your shop. You could create an about page. Definitely go over to the seller handbook if you have a chance and look up Etsy's ultimate guide to starting an Etsy shop. And there will be tons of articles within that guide that can sort of guide you through all the different areas of your shop that you can set up for visibility, also just branding and credibility, stuff like that. I think that would be really helpful to the shop. But overall, off to a really great start. And this item is just adorable. I think a few small changes here and there will really help take it to the next level. Okay, so let's talk about our last listing that we selected for today. This is a drawer pull or a drawer knob, whatever you want to call it. Maybe we emphasize that in the title. I'm going to get there in a second, but yeah, very cool item. I will scroll through the photos here so you can get a feel. Oh, I love this photo where we can actually see it on a dresser. That's really nice. There's an awesome video here too. All right, and I'll scroll down to the bottom of the page a bit. Cool, so this listing is from Achino's Boutique. Thank you for submitting this, and I see you're a star seller. Congratulations and awesome job there. So for this listing, a little bit different than what I was saying before with the macrame nursery decor and the pink sports bra that we talked about. I'd actually love to see this seller expand on their listing title a bit, right? So it's kind of about a balance. You want like 2 to 4 really strong phrases that you think buyers are most likely to type into search when shopping for an item like yours. So I think that there's an opportunity here to increase visibility. Right now, we just have knobs, white urchin. I would love to see you go a couple steps further here. Maybe we add the word pulls because not everybody maybe is thinking knobs right away. You could also talk about the material that's used here, calling out the fact that they're very texturized. You could get into the aquatics of it all. Maybe there's something about ocean decor or nautical decor, ocean themed, or beach house furniture. Really try to stretch yourself and think through what buyers would be using this product for and what they might be typing into search when shopping for a product like this. Also, anything that doesn't fit in the title, because you want to keep it on the concise side, that can go in your listing tags. And I want to talk about tags for a second. We didn't really get into tags on the other 2 listings, but your tags are there to be additional keywords on your listing. So again, whatever doesn't make it into the title that's still relevant, maybe it's a theme, a color, a motif, a use case, a solution to a problem. Tags are a great spot for that. Tags are also a great spot for calling out gift recipients or upcoming occasions where this could be a great gift. And on that note, I do want to call out that when I was looking at things on the back end, I was able to see that the seller currently has the tag Christmas on this listing. And while I always tell my sellers that I speak with, it's never too early to start planning for holiday. In this case, it feels a little early, right? I'm not sure if that's left over from like last year or if that is just a super ambitious way of like thinking ahead. But I think there are other occasions that are going to come up ahead of that where this could be a relevant product. So I would just say make sure you're revisiting your tags over time and that you're updating them to be as relevant as possible to what is currently relevant. So key shopping occasions, holidays, stuff like that. Right now, Christmas doesn't feel like super relevant to this product. I could be wrong. And if I am, definitely call me out in the chat here. But yeah, I think instead you could think about other occasions like maybe those more evergreen, always on occasions, for example, like housewarming or, a hostess gift if somebody just moved into a house, things like that. Yeah, or, we're kind of approaching back to school here too. Maybe somebody's decorating their apartment or their dorm, and this would make a great addition to a piece of furniture they have. So yeah, just think through stuff like that and make sure you're keeping both your titles and your tags really specific and relevant to what's happening in the world and different occasions and moments. All right, so my next note for this listing is I want to encourage the seller to think about a different listing photo for this first photo. So it is a lovely photo. It's a little warm. There's plants, there's shadows, there's hands, there's pink nail polish, which is super cute. I just wonder if something a little more simple, though, could be a better way to bring people in. Your photos that follow that first listing photo, they kind of continue the conversation between your item and the buyer, right? So how do you get your buyer to click on your product from search? And then the rest of the photos there can kind of continue to influence. And I think this is a great photo to include there because the hand looks really nice, emphasizing scale, size. The plant too is very nice and editorial. I just wonder if a little bit more simple, maybe something like this, would be the way to go for that first listing photo. Just a suggestion. And then something else I'd like to see. We've got a lot of these hand photos, which is good. Really articulating the different sizing and scale and color that you have available here. But more photos like this, I think, would be really helpful and inspirational to your buyers. So let's see the product in its intended use. Here we have it on a really nice piece of wood furniture. I'd love to see it on a different style furniture to really show its versatility and how it could work for, multiple use cases, different types of furniture. I also see that you have some great review photos too. So, it never hurts to reach out to your buyer and just ask if you could borrow that photo, whether it's for a social media post or a listing photo. Definitely ask first. You want to get that permission. But yeah, that could be a nice way to add some other photos in that, really take it to the next level, show it off once it's in its intended use. And those photos are super relatable to buyers too. So all of that's good there. For the listing description, very short and sweet here, which I can appreciate. I think there still is an opportunity to expand a little to increase visibility on offsite searches. So remember again, your listing description will be scanned by other search engines. So like Google, Yahoo, Bing, these search engines will scan the first 160 characters of your listing description, particularly for keywords when determining their own search results. So by keeping this a little bit on the short side, you may be limiting your audience there because not only are people searching on Etsy for knobs, but people are searching on Google, Yahoo, Bing, all of those search engines. And if you want to make sure you appear in results over there, just cleaning up your SEO within your listing description, expanding a little bit, making sure you have good keywords sprinkled throughout could be really helpful there. All right. Well, those were our 3 listings for the day. I super appreciate all of you joining. This is our last session for now. We do plan on doing more. We'd love to hear from you all. If you can drop in the chat below here, whether or not these were helpful to you. And if they were helpful, what was one key takeaway that you have, or what was something new that you learned? We'd love to hear in the comments below. Let us know. We'll take all of your feedback into consideration as we start to plan out what other listing critiques could look like for us here, as well as other seller education events. So definitely let us know in the comments. And definitely keep an eye on the community.etsy.com community space, where we will be letting sellers know about future opportunities like this. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel here so that you don't miss out on any notifications when we do go live or share new videos. We do a lot of education throughout the year. So yeah, definitely like and subscribe if you want to stay in the know there. All right. Thank you all so much for joining. I've had a lot of fun doing these. I hope you all have had fun and learned something. And yeah, stay tuned for more opportunities like this.